Okay, here's a little trick that a lot of people use, and it might be a little bit cliche, but it really can be effective if you make it work right. So if you're trying to make something pop, this is how you're going to do it. Or this is one way to do it. I have this overexposed picture of this train, and I want to make it kind of stand out from the background. You can do this for any subject matter. It's really easy. And so this is like image compositing. What you want to do to start with is select what you want. And so, see, I'm going to use a lasso here, and you have these two different types. The easier one actually is this one's called a polygonal lasso. If you just click on it, now I can make kind of a geometric selection around my image. And you can do it kind of sloppy, because what you're going to do is you're going to copy this selection, and then you're going to paste it right back in the same spot. Double click there. Oops. Looks like I missed it. Yeah, let me just go over like this. If you get right back in the spot, it should select. Okay, so there's your selection, and all you have to do is copy paste, Command C, Command V, or Control on the PC. And look what happened in my layers. That selection is all by itself here. And it's sort of out of place, so we got to move it now. Grab the Move tool. Just going to jockey it right back into position, right where it belongs. And if you're unsure, if you have it right, you can go back over your layers here, turn on that layer, and turn it back off. So right now it's off, and I noticed that I kind of moved my guy a little bit too much. On, off. Slide it right back into position. That looks good. Cool. So what you want to do now is drop the saturation of the background, and this will help make it obvious what you need to erase off of this top layer. So make sure you select the layer, go to Adjustments, Hue Saturation, and drop that down. Now if you make it all the way down, it makes the background black and white. We want it to have a little bit of color. You see what's happening? You can see where my selection was. So it's still colorful, and the background now is kind of grayed out. Move that out of the way. I can even lower the lightness of it a little bit, and you can really see how that affects the background. So we don't want it to be quite that dark. Let's bring it back up a little bit. Hit OK. Watch, if I turn that top layer off, that's the one that I just made a selection of. You have your regular image here, and then pasted over top of, or composited on top, is this other guy here. And now really all it's a matter of doing is erasing out the sky and all the other stuff that you don't need. One thing you can do is use the magic wand here. Click in an area. Whoops, I need to have that top layer selected. Image, deselect. I just hit delete, and it gets rid of that extra stuff. Now it's not always going to be perfect. Like over in these trees, you can see it's going to be kind of messy. So notice also, see how it's still selected? It's really tiny. This can really throw you for a loop. So you'll be wondering why none of my tools are working. What the heck's going on? If nothing is working, check two things. First, that you're deselected, and next, that you're actually working on the right layer. So I want to be on this layer. I'm going to select the eraser tool now, and it's too small. See, I need to make it bigger. Oops. Go to the brush size, and let's up the diameter here. That's good. Now you can kind of carefully erase out. Another thing you can do to make that even a little bit faster is go back to your lasso, get the polygonal lasso. And the nice thing about this method is you don't have to be like super duper perfect, because you have the original image in the background. So it's not like you've erased anything out and now it isn't going to work. Let's see, where did I start? There you go. 2 clicks. Grab the eraser. Let's make it even bigger this time. There it is. It's huge. Now I can just go ahead and erase. I don't have to be all like super careful and everything. And it's only erasing what's inside of that selection. Of course, edit, deselect. There you go. So I have this image that I've been working on already. And you can see what I did is I knocked out some of the background, knocked down the saturation, and I was in the process of doing what I was just showing you here, which is to kind of clean up some of that extra color from the background. And I'm erasing the original image, or sorry, the image on top. So what I did in this case was I desaturated the background, but then I took this top layer and made an adjustment to the saturation. You know, not a whole lot. I don't want to make it look like this, you know, but I just wanted it to kind of stand out a little bit more. And I think I lowered the lightness just a touch to get a little bit more contrast. So by selecting an object that you want to sort of be the point of emphasis, copying it to another layer, and making a saturation change between those 2 layers will make the thing kind of pop. It's a trick. Everyone uses it. A lot of people use it. You've seen it before, but it can really work.